He called her lazy while taking a nap. Am I the a-hole for thinking my best friend should leave her boyfriend because he expects her to be a 1960s housewife? I'm actually posting this on behalf of my best friend because she's too overwhelmed to do it herself. She's 25, he's 30, and they've been together for 2 years. They recently moved in together, and we're talking about marriage and having kids someday. Here's the problem. They both work the exact same job. They met at work, they work the same rotating shifts, they switch between days, nights, and evenings, and it's physically demanding labor. By the time they get home, they're both exhausted. But despite that, he believes it's her responsibility to cook his dinner every single night and clean the entire house. If she doesn't, he calls her lazy, childish, careless, and a slob. If she makes herself something quick to eat, he'll actually get offended because she didn't cook for him too. One day he started talking about wanting homemade liver soup. He kept telling her it was so easy to make. She finally asked, "If it's that easy, why don't you make it yourself?" His response? "If I cook now, you'll never learn to cook for me." She works full-time, sometimes more than 44 hours a week, yet somehow she's expected to come home and be his personal chef and maid too. She keeps telling me she feels useless because she isn't the perfect housewife he wants. And honestly, I think that's ridiculous. But I wanted to know if this is actually normal in long-term relationships. There's one more thing. They had just moved into a new condo, so there were boxes everywhere. After work one night, she went out with a friend. He completely lost it. He told her she was lazy because she always slept after work, and on the one day she wasn't sleeping, she went out instead of unpacking. She suggested they spend the weekend cleaning together. The next morning she got up and immediately started unpacking and cleaning. He got out of bed, laid on the couch, did absolutely nothing, then went and took a nap. Later, he still called her lazy. That's what really got me. People in the comments pointed out something else. Apparently, his mom cooked and cleaned for him until he finally moved out the year before. One commenter said that's probably exactly why he expects this from his girlfriend now. Another person said if she accepts this behavior, it'll only get worse, especially if they have kids together. Someone else asked why she was still with him. The truth is, she loved him. She genuinely believed he'd change. And because he constantly criticized her, she started believing she really was the problem. She told me she felt useless because she wasn't a good enough cook. She believed she was messy because every tiny mistake became proof she was a slob. For example, if she accidentally left an oven mitt on the counter for 10 minutes, he'd call her disgusting. Then if she remembered to put it away correctly 99 times afterward, he'd say nothing. But the one time she forgot again, he'd immediately say, "See? You haven't changed. You're still a slob." Eventually, she stopped trusting her own judgment. She honestly believed he was right. What would you do in this situation? Comment below. Would you stay and try to work it out, or would you leave? Make sure you follow for more videos posted daily. Update. 2 weeks later. After reading everyone's responses, I realized something. I knew this guy was rude. I just didn't realize how abusive the relationship had become. I showed my friend the post and encouraged her to let him read it too. He dismissed the entire thing as biased. When asked how it was biased, he couldn't explain. Instead, he claimed everyone was plotting against him. He was even invited to share his side of the story. He never did. That led to a huge argument. He once again called her childish and even said he didn't want to be with her anymore. She still wanted to save the relationship. She asked if they'd go to couples counseling because she loved him and wanted to make things work. They agreed. It lasted about 2 days. Then they fought again. He repeated that she was childish, said he couldn't imagine raising kids with someone like her, and claimed he'd end up doing all the work. Then he packed his things and left. Afterward, she finally opened up about everything that had been happening behind closed doors. There was far more emotional abuse than I'd ever realized. Looking back, I'm honestly relieved he ended the relationship because I don't think she ever would have left on her own. She's heartbroken. But sometimes the trash really does take itself out. So tell me, am I the a-hole?